This week in 3D archery, I went and did it. I built a recurve bow. Hey everybody, welcome to 3D Archery. Here I Greg here. So I've been building that semi-recurve longbow, reflex, deflex, whatever you want to call it. Built a few of those. I love it. I've been shooting it all the time. It's not that it's anything special, although it does shoot really well. But the fact that I built it really plays a big part in it, but it is also a sweet shooter. So why did I start bow building? Well, for a simple reason, all right? And it all comes down to a certain bow. And that is this bow right here. This is my 1958 Ben Pearson Palomino. Right-handed. And this baby shoots like a dream. I am just in awe of it. And Ben Pearson was so proud of this bow. Why was he proud of it? Because this thing won tournaments on the local, regional, national, and world levels back in the 50s and early 60s. This was his pride, boy. This baby, they call it the Bow of Champions. And I've been looking for a couple of years now for a left-handed model, and you know what? Nothing. That's when I realized, okay, if I'm going to get me one of these, I bet you I'm going to have to build one. And that's why I started building bows. Well, got the process figured out. Not perfect at it, but I got it down pretty good with my other one, so thought I'd take the big leap, and I built one. Now, a couple things about this bow, unlike the others. Look at the angles here. If you ever watch most bows, they're just like a smooth, straight line. This baby goes here, turns in, turns back out, humps right there, angles all over the place. That was a big challenge. So I'll show it to you now. Here she is. Now, we'll say it is not an exact copy. I have made modifications to better suit my shooting. There she is right there. Straightforward build. This right here, not this. This is actually pretty easy. This surface right here was the hardest part of the build, as in the air hose. Trying to get it to go here, because what I did, this is one piece that went up here, curved, and went over like that. And that turn right there was a mother. I ended up cutting the laminations, and I think I'm going to change my form. I'm going to cut my form, open it up, and use two air hoses, one on this side and one on this side. Now, I did screw this bow up aesthetically, and the tiller is slightly off, so don't mind it. Why is the tiller off? Because when you adjust tiller, you measure from one set of fades and the other set of fades, and they got to be within one inch of each other, correct? Will never happen on this bow. Can you tell why? All right, just look at the line. This ran perfectly through the center of the block. And you notice it's right in the center of this fade right here, right? Goes right through the center of it. But if we bring the line across, it's on the top of this fade. The two fades are not level with each other. And man, I was like, what the heck? And I went to town on the upper limb trying to get it to work. So how did I screw it up? Well, upper limb's 1.5 inches. Sorry, lower limb's 1.5 inches. The upper limb's only 1 inch. But with that said, it still shoots great. I took it out on a 3D course. Excuse me. Last Sunday. Shot really well. I was shooting Predator 2 800s. I broke a couple of them because if you're going to use like a gap method or shoot instinctive, learn the bow before you take it out on a 3D course. I broke 2 arrows because I had no clue where my gaps were. My instinctive wasn't set in and all that. So I'm here today playing with the bow some more. And I'm working with my Predator 2, sorry, not my Predator 2s, my GT Trad 600s with a 145 grain point. I was using Predator 2 800s with 125 grain points. And I will say, once again, the Predator 2s are amazing arrows. this bow does seem to favor him. It will shoot the 600s just as well, but I have to have better technique with it. It's, you know, I hate the word forgiving, all right? But this one, if you don't have the right technique, she'll make you pay for it. And I'll see if I can do a shot or two here. See if I have good form. Came out to about 38 pounds, somewhere around that area. Right in the bullseye. All right, everybody gets lucky once in a while. Love this bow. One, I really like this. My line, my racing stripes that I made through it. So what did I change over the original Palomino? Well, I took the handle here and I made it flat. You ever notice in all the ILF compound bows and all the other fancy schmancy type of things, they're all flat, right? So that's what I did. I mimicked that and I made that flat, so it sits in the meaty portion of my thumb really well. Not much of a thumb rest like normal bows, but it has enough of one. I very slightly took my shelf and cut it downward at an angle. Now you're probably wondering, why would you do that, Greg? That don't make sense. Well, I use a higher nock than most people. As you can see, my arrows don't touch the back half of my rest. So I angled it and I rounded ever so slightly the front part of it where it sits, right? And I ever so slightly rounded off the side. I did, since I messed it up, I figured I really messed it up and it wasn't going to last long. It may not. So I cut it past center. You can see how much past center that baby is. So people that say you can't take a wooden bow and cut it past center, we'll find out. Hard maple, Bubinga. Came out, I coated it in a clear satin, right? I put some limb tips on it, red and white phenolic, so if I want to go fast flight string, I can do that. Now, interesting about this bow is I have not set up brace height. I have not done none of that. This is the string off my 58 Palomino, and I just threw it on here, and I've been shooting it with 0 adjustments. So, for whatever that's worth, take out of that what you want, right? So what we're going to do today is I'm going to shoot a little bit. We're going to walk a little bit here at Tioga. I got some shots here. There'll be a good test to see how this baby works. We'll try it short range, long range, deadly double ninja range. All right. Horrible shot, Gregory Mark. Didn't work my shot circle. There you go. See, like I said, I'm telling you, like any other bow, as long as I get good form, it does its job. No string silencers. I did put some Velcro up here to silence any possible string slap, but not much to worry about. Hand shock, I don't feel any. It makes a little bit of a noise, not much. It made less on Sunday when we were at 3D course, but I have a theory that bows have to break in. I don't know if it's true. I just think they have to. All right. So look at that, boys and girls. Oh, last thing I did is I went out and I made the decal for it. Palomino Traditional. So what I love about this bow, besides the fact that I made it, is quite possibly this is the first Ben Pearson Palomino, this model, made since 1963. That's when they stopped making them, and it just happened to be the year I was born. So this bow, this is probably the first time this bow's been made in 55 years. All I gotta say has been keeping the spirit alive, and I hope out there somewhere, if Ben Pearson, if you believe in an afterlife and all that good stuff, well, I hope Ben Pearson's smiling right about now. All right, boys and girls, let's go out and hit the course. Let's put this baby through her paces. Okay, one of the first things I want to do is find my gaps. It's real simple. I put an orange dot down there. I don't put my arrow on the dot. I put it on the bottom of the dot. That way there I can see what I want to hit. So it helps with that gap stinctive type of stuff. Finding your gap's always about having good form. That's all I can say. Horrible release. That was me pulling. Oopsie doodle. That ain't that bad off then. Yeah, I think that's about where it's going to be. Now, ever since I switched from anchoring my middle finger to my mouth to the let your body determine it, my anchor has moved back and slightly down. So I'm getting much larger gaps. There you go. I just got to focus on putting my hand where I need it. There's my real gap. I was moving my finger around a little bit too much. All right, I'm gonna go up, measure it, and I'm gonna continue the process. For this is 15, so I got do 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40 yards. All right, first one I'm gonna try. What else? Long range, 45 yards. You can barely see them on the other side of the scrub. Is that awesome red stag from Reinhardt? I gotta be 3 feet at 40 yards, and he's 45. My arrow drops massively at the end there. This might take a couple shots. No downrange because I'm by myself, and I'm here working on the bow, and I don't want to spend too much time filming and not focusing on my bow. So please excuse no downrange right now. All right, I'm gonna put it as high as his ear. Let's see what happens. Hit him base of the neck. So, oops, 800 would really take off and fly now, won't it? Yeah. There we go. Alright, here, so. Alright. Wow. So, believe it or not, I'll show you where my first shot is. We'll go out there and I'll explain it to you. But gap is so hard to figure out at long distance because your form is so critical. And that's why that first arrow really helps. Alright everybody, here we are. So my first time I put my arrow here. And this is where it hit. Alright? So then I looked at that distance and I wanted to be down here. So I realized if I just put my arrow here, it should hit here. And what did I hit? I hit in the outside of, or the inside of the 10. So I got a 10 in the second one. But what I notice, and this is when I shoot, this is how I look. It's like, how's my arrow placement? I was aiming there. And look at that. Both. Duh. That's why I hit over here, because the bullseye is here. I had my arrow here. When in reality, my arrow should have been over here. But you know, you make those mistakes and you learn from them. But it showed me one thing. Center cut, a little off for me, so I got to learn to adjust that. But she shoots straight and true. From 45 yards with good form, the bow shoots straight and true. First one was my ranging shot. Second one was a 10. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. So I know I can shoot long range. Tanya's such a sweet shooter. I feel nothing. It's quieting down now. Alright. Let's go out and we'll walk the course and see if we can find some other challenges for it. Alright, here we got a deer. About 12, 15 yards. Right? It's a good test, like a hunting shot. And let me see how fast my arrow's correct, or if I really have sloppy form. And most importantly, It's going to see how many mosquito bites I can get by the time I do a full draw. So I'm working my iron mind, blocking out the 5 billion mosquitoes out here. And no, I didn't put on bug spray. Nah, not that smart. Alright, you know what? I don't care what they say. It's a secret between me and you. It's not the equipment. It's the archer. I can shoot anything as long as I got my form down. Doesn't matter. Alright, take it out, take a look. Not bad. Got a 10. So, long range, fly straight and true. Close range, no stability problems. Problem speaking English. Alright, let's go have some fun and let's play around with it a little bit. Alright, we're back on long range. I just like long range shots. One, they require really good form. And two, you gotta watch your own flight, which I know you're not supposed to do, but I do it, I don't care. Alright, so he's about 45 yards out there. It's the polar bear. I like it, the standing one, because it doesn't give you much leeway. You have to make a good shot left to right. It's got to be in line with what you're doing. So you got to, pay attention there. Yeah, he's a bigger target, height-wise, but that's just part of it. All right. And I got bushes in the way. I'm going to try one through the bushes. If not, I'll move over to get a little more open shot. Bugs. First try. Now, I had to say, I shot that one purely instinctive. And I hit him right around the left paw. So, I'm going to put it in the back of the bale house. Left shoulder. Sorry, right shoulder. Left shoulder. A little better. All right, last one. But as you can see, she shoots pretty darn sweet. I'm not having no issues with it. Alright, 5 out of 5, and I'll take that any day of the week. Alright, boys and girls, on to the next one. Tanya, sweet shooter. All right, everybody. I'm not in the favor of extinction of many things or anything, but I've changed my mind. Mosquitoes. Wipe them out. Don't care. Don't care. Extinction, please. Thank God I iron mined that one. Now the hard one. Sorry, I gotta move over here. Boom! I love that shot. It's not easy. I went between the antlers, the trees, Palomino power. I'm telling you, if I would have built this perfect, made this equal to this because it drives me nuts, this would without a doubt be the bow I'd be shooting every day. And you know what? Probably still is. Tiny little meerkat about 10 yards away. Instinctive. I can shoot instinctive. Yeah, this should be good. Fortunately, this is a really badly infested insect area. You can probably see in front of the camera. Try instinctive first. See how my instincts are. My first instinct is get rid of the mosquitoes. Actually, these aren't mosquitoes, these are gnats, which is even worse. I guess I got okay instincts. Don't even have to try a gap. Try it again. So, first time I shot this bow in my basement, been working on not trying to grip, trying to keep a loose grip, shot it and it flew out of my hand and slid across the floor. So, it's already been dropped once, got that out of the way. Duh. Tell you what, the 600s, you've seen so far, they shoot great. The 800s fly faster. I think they might have I don't know, maybe the gap just seemed smaller, but actually I think it might have been bigger. So, you know, it is what it is. But I can see with this bow, besides the mosquitoes driving me crazy, until I get down the trajectory, I actually really have to think about the range and my gaps and things like that. So I'm not going to be the most accurate guy in the world for a little bit, but that will come with time. Very proud of that shot. Had a mosquito in my right ear, had one bite in my left arm, and I had one inside my glasses. And yes, Joel Turner, I blocked it all out. Alright, this one's a little farther. I'll try to put it maybe on Mom's head. Boom, 2 out of 2. Love my grip. That flat part, I'm telling you, I can do that little, the push thing with it, right? And I can push, it's not really that, but it ends like that when you let go. But I'm pushing with that part of my hand, I'm pushing. Not the web, but that whole meaty portion. I'm pushing with it as I go. All right, you know what? I don't think we need to see a whole lot more. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take it inside now and I'm going to shoot an indoor target round and let's see how accurate I can be with it. Oh, and there you go. X4443, the 3. You know what? So, I think that proves this bow can shoot accurately and consistently. Have to say, pleasantly surprised. Right? It wasn't the easiest build. I had some serious obstacles. All these multiple angles presented a problem in the form. The fitting of the riser to it, this little surface right here, the pressing of the hose, my moronic mistake of making, not checking the tiller Didn't know they weren't equal, so this limb is an inch, this limb's an inch and a half, but you know what? It shoots incredibly well. I'm out there, and it's a really, I don't know how you can say this, guys, but it's a really good, for me, instinctive bow. I didn't gap this, all right? That was pure instinctive. I know my gap, it's on my phone, but I don't know it in my head, so I just drew back. Yeah, I seen the arrow, but I just drew back, got a nice body feel, and said, you know what? That's about right, and I let it go. So my bow, I'm telling you, another one. A couple things. I went out and bought one of those belt sanders that do the loop vertically. You know, it runs up and down. And that allowed me to do this angle. And I really love this rounded ability to make on my bow. I think it, especially here, like with the racing stripes, it really comes out nice. Cheap leather from the craft store, Velcro for my rest. All right, my tips came out pretty good. My string, I mean, I love it. You know, I think I'm going to be shooting this one a lot now. So far, about 300 arrows through it. Looks like no issues, no problems. You know, one thing that Jeff couldn't get over was this bump. So and it's there, it's on my other Palomino, you know, and you'd think that would be a problem, but for some reason, I don't know. You know, this is before they had computers and all that, and Ben Pearson probably helped design, or if he didn't actually design it himself, you know, I think he probably did. You know, and like I said earlier, it's pretty cool. First one since 1963. First Palomino, most likely, built for 55 years. And now they're back. And hopefully this baby's going to make a name for itself in my hands. Might make a few others. I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to give out to friends. I got 2 people I already got to make bows for. Third one possible. I make them. I give them away for free. They're gifts. That's how I like to do it. You know, tell me what you think about it. You know, my big thing is, I just, you know, like I said, if he's out there somewhere, if you believe in an afterlife and all that, hopefully, you know, Ben Pearson's smiling. Because, you know, trying to keep the spirit alive. And right now, hopefully, the legend's been reborn. All right, boys and girls, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time with an all-new episode, not a new bow, that's going to be a little bit, of 3D Archery.